I just wanted to do a review on my cat genie. As you can see, it's not up and running. There's part of it here. I know you'll. Part of it here. I had it running for a month, so I'm not like an expert, but I just wanted to give my experience with it. It was running really well, and but I did have a couple of big complaints about the settings. So I had to move. I had to go back to this, but we'll explain that later. So anyway, so I got the cat genie because of this guy right there, Ted. He likes to help himself to what's in the cat litter box. And so I was hoping if I got an automatic box, that would stop him from finding things and spreading it all over the place and making a big, gross, disgusting mess. It did. I got this one, and it did. I really liked it. It runs like 10 minutes after the cat is done, I believe, and it's really good. There's some complaints, so I thought I would upgrade and get a cat genie. I wouldn't have to worry about getting litter except for the granules right there, and this is a tiny box. It's an itty bitty box, and they're a little expensive, but it's, I mean, compared to that, you get that, and that should last a while. So I got one, and I love that you don't have to deal with anything litter related when it's working. The drawback is the settings. I think the settings would work really, really well if you have one cat, possibly two cats. But the problem is it takes 30 minutes, a little over 30 minutes to run a cycle. So if you have more than one cat and one cat goes, and then the cat has to go, another cat has to go, if they don't go within the 10 minutes, a cycle is going to start. And so that cat has to wait 30 minutes. And you know, cats don't wait. So I have 3 cats. And I tried to put it on the cat cycle because I thought if you put in the number, it'll scoop a certain amount of times before it runs a full cycle. But it doesn't do that. It just, every time a cat goes in, it runs a full 30-minute cycle. So mine was running like every hour, and I had cats waiting because one cat will go and then he'll go out, and another cat won't go right behind him, so a cycle will start. So the other 2 are waiting for that cycle. And then it just goes like that because my cats don't just go number 1 and number 2 at the same time. They go number 1, and then they take a little break, and then they go number 2, and then another cat has to go, and then another cat has to go. So it's like a little cycle. They're pretty much on the same schedule, but it's not within 10 minutes. So it was running every hour, and I had a cat always waiting to go, and they started to go somewhere else because they're not going to wait. So, you know, of course I could have just put in another litter box, but then they would have just been using that litter box because they were using the cat genie begrudgingly to begin with. So if I put in another litter box, they would have just stopped using the cat genie because they didn't really like it. So the only good thing I can say about it is that when it works, you really don't have to do anything. You just set it up and it cleans everything. Sadly, it doesn't always, like everything, it doesn't work all the time. So since I couldn't do the cat setting, I set it to go a certain number of times. I set it for 3 times at first. And the problem with that is that if you set it more than 2 times a day to go automatically, it will wake you up in the middle of the night when it's doing the 3rd or 4th cycle in the middle of the night, because it doesn't have a sleep cycle. Only the cat setting has a sleep cycle. So this goes 24 hours if you set it to a certain number of times. And mine is in the bathroom attached to my bedroom, so it was waking me up 3 o'clock in the morning while it was running its cycle. And there's no way around it, because it's either going to wake you up, if you do it early in the morning, it'll wake you up real early in the morning, or it'll wake you up in the middle of the night. And the problem with that too is that a couple of hours would go by before running a cycle, and my dog would get into the litter box. So it didn't solve my problem. I was not happy with the settings. I was going and pushing the button after each time the cat would poop, which worked because I'm home. But when I start going back into work, that's not going to work. But I was putting up with that. What made my cat genie end up like this is that it just clogged. And this is after a month of being used. And when your cat genie clogs, if it's a cycle where there's poop, you get a soupy, disgusting, poopy, smelly, gross mess that you have to fish around in to try to figure out where the clog is and how to fix it. It was traumatizing. I threw it away. I got it used, so I'm not out a lot. I'm out a lot, actually, but I'm not out as much as I would have been if I had gotten it new. But I wish I had gotten it new, because I would have sent it back just for the setting problem, because the settings don't work for me. So that is my experience with the cat genie. When it works, the first week or so, it was amazing to not have to do anything. But slowly it started to do stuff like it would leave big chunks, like the chunks that should have been picked up by the scoop. It would leave big chunks of poop while it was cleaning, and so when it dried, it would smell up the whole house. Like it's like you put poop in the oven and turn the fan on to blow the air in around your apartment. And my apartment is small, so the whole place would smell like cooking poop, and it wasn't pleasant. And then the thing just broke, like this part. There's a part on the bottom that goes underneath this. If you have one, you'll know. And it just broke. And I think that's part of the reason why it clogged. Well, not really, because that just stopped it from, well, I don't know. That might have been why it clogged, and maybe that's just unique to me. But I've heard that they clog, and I'm just here to tell you, clogs are traumatizing. You don't want to go through a clog. So if there's any way to prevent it, which I was planning to clean it out every 6 weeks to try to prevent a clog from happening. Ted Leavitt, to try to prevent a clog from happening, but I didn't even get a month into it. So that's my experience. I'm gonna see if anyone wants the hood and the wall part, like the I know that part is extra, and that part I'm going to throw away, and this part I'm going to throw away, and this part, but I'm going to see if someone wants those granules, and if someone wants those hoods. And you are the reason I'm going through this trauma. If you just stay out of the litter box, I would be able to just use a plain old litter box. Don't look all innocent, and don't sniff the litter. Look at me. You're causing me stress. But I love you. Anyway, that's my experience. Take it or leave it. I just wanted to say it didn't work out for me. The settings weren't what I needed. Excuse the mess of my bathroom. I had to set up the litter box really, really fast. So that's the old litter, and anyway, that's what happened. I liked it when it worked. I loved it when it worked. I wish it had better settings where you can scoop a couple of times before running a setting, or I wish that you could have a sleep cycle for the automatic setting, because I couldn't use it because I like my sleep. The end. I hope this helps someone. If not, yeah, well, bye.